Hello, I'm Silvia Miotti. I'm the author of Participation and Paradigm. The chapter essentially argues it's important to think about what basis we are conducting scientific research on, because it seems to be confined to academic circles, but in actual fact, what we research in academia tends to translate into recommendations for the education sector. So we talk very often on how to assist autistic children in schools, but also how schools can accommodate autistic children better. I've been to so many CPD sessions with strategies and techniques to assist autistic children were explained, but they very often were delivered as one-size-fits-all solutions. And easily said, but not so easily done. And a lot of us would be, nodding to the trainers and then go back to our offices and comment, well, actually, that autistic child we're teaching is completely impossible, and how can we accommodate for this and that and the other when we're teaching 31 children on top of this one as well. And so change would not be really observed to the degree promised. And that was very frustrating and really reinforced stigma against autistic people rather than helping them at all. So in terms of reflection on this, I've a few years ago decided to do a master's degree with the University of Birmingham in autism and education to try and unpack some of these issues that I've been facing in class. And I started to read for the first time papers authored by autistic authors themselves, and the story they tell is really, really different from the one that I've heard in training. And one of the key messages really is that we have been looking for a long time at autistic people as if they were ill, but actually we are really defining illness here on observational basis alone. When we observe students that are unable to sit, for example, in a room of 32 people for 6 hours a day, writing, listening, not talking, not moving, not making any noises, or being annoyed by noise, and taking in all that information in the way that we have presented it in one way. That inability to do that doesn't necessarily identify an illness. It identifies the fact that we have a social model that requires everyone to behave the same. And this has been really made very, very clear by conversations with autistic students, and that's been really a game changer in my class. Not so much in terms of the old fixation with fixing the autistic student, but really establishing a great rapport and being able to work with students in a much more collaborative way. And so that inside-out perspective, that sort of, that Donna Williams was referring to in her publications, that inside-out perspective is key, because as external observers, we are only able to see behaviors but not really get the full picture. And that's really missing from autism research. The chapter refers to a critical realist paradigm, which is basically a view of science that facilitates this, and it's explained in a, I believe, pretty accessible manner. And it refers to a number of pieces of research where autistic people have taken much more of a lead, showing that there is real promise in doing this, and it should be done from an early stage, starting in school. Thank you and happy reading.